I don't think the little girl from Despicable Me who's obsessed with unicorns is going to want to get anywhere near this one. Death of a Unicorn. What happens when corporate capitalists end up getting a mystical creature dropped into their laps? Unfortunately, the answer is money, 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 money. Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd don't really feel like a father-daughter pairing in this dark, twisted comedy. They feel more like roommates, but in the end, it does feel like they used to be close, but due to circumstances, they drifted apart. And in the end, their connection does shine through. Among the characters are played by Richard E. Grant as an ailing capitalist who gets exposed to unicorn blood and is healed, and now wants to make more unicorns and try to synthesize the life-giving effects of its blood and horn. He's delightfully despicable, as is Téa Leoni as his annoying wife, and the guy who played the whiny guy in Chronicles of Narnia: Voyage of the Dawn Treader, he's back and buff and really, really stupid. His stupidity is fairly entertaining. The whole cast really did a good job. Some characters I felt got worse than what they deserved, but other characters got exactly what they deserved. It was glorious and goriest. Sorry. The effects for the unicorns were really good. They took the Jurassic Park route, a combination of practical work for some close-ups and the titular dead creature, and CGI that was partially in darkness and in some scenes in full light, which worked. You could sort of see the uncanny valley in places, but overall, the unicorns felt like they were real creatures. And these aren't dainty little daffodils that seem docile, like in some versions of unicorn stories. They were closer to the tough creatures that My Little Pony showed that unicorns could be. Even more so, really. These creatures were powerful and were connected to primal forces, and if you messed with them, you weren't going to live very long. Basically, if the man-eating mares of the Hercules mythology were in fact unicorns, this is what they'd be like. And they were awesome. Now, normally I'm more of a dragon person, but this type of unicorn is definitely one that would get a guy's approval. And would maybe get a woman's approval if she were into that sort of toughness. The setting is gorgeous. It's a place up in the mountains, possibly in Europe somewhere, possibly Ukraine. Ukraine, that is. And it's just so majestic. You can see the possibility of mythical creatures having survived in those remote areas and surviving to the modern world. It really takes the legend of the unicorn from medieval times, the actual times, not the restaurant, and weaves a real biological creature into the mythos. And overall, the story is slow, but not in a bad way. Like, it's basically a bunch of people trying to figure out a fantastical situation, and they're basically flying blind. Overall, it was dark, twisted, entertaining as all heck. It was like My Little Pony meets Friday the 13th. And it was awesome. If they were to make sequels called, well, I don't know, Crash of a Dragon, Netting of a Mermaid, Counterattack of a Centaur, or something like that, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Ortega and Rudd reprise their roles for that type of setup. So yeah, overall, if you're into dark fantasies with action, drama, and a heck of a lot of very effective gore, this is one to check out. This is Mr. J signing out and reminding you, just because cartoons make mythical creatures comical and seemingly harmless, doesn't mean that if they were to exist, they wouldn't be a force to be reckoned with. Even if they're always depicted as frou-frou in various media. Nature can be very brutal, so unicorns that could do some serious damage that would make a rhino get up and applaud would definitely be in the ballpark. Cheers, folks, and be careful in the old woods, because you never know what might still be out there.